Alright, another thing you're going to want to do before you start pulling your fuel neck and mounting your tank is mounting the fuel pump. Important things when mounting this guy are, you can see right here, it says flow. Flow is going through this way. The outlet needs to be higher than the inlet, or it needs to be horizontal. But the preferred mounting is 45 degrees. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and mount mine to this frame rail here, kind of like roughly right here. And you have to kind of think about the hoses as well. You'll have this filter sticking off about this much, and then you'll have a little outlet about that high, so I'd almost say maybe kind of like this would be a good spot. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine right about here. There you go, and then just tap it with the hammer. Alright, I've got the hole drilled out to 9mm, and I have my 1/4 riv nut. As you can see, there's a nice tight fit in there. So, that looks pretty good. Alright, before I mount the pump, I'm going to go ahead and put the filter and the outlet into it. They're threaded inserts that go on either side. For this and all my brass valves, what I'm going to go ahead and use is this high performance thread sealant. Important thing you'll note on the back of this is, let's see, notes. Permatex thread sealant seals threaded metal fittings on hydraulic, pneumatic, fuel, it's the important one in our case, fuel, and cooling systems. It's not recommended for use on plastics or rubber. Well, in our case, we have a bunch of metal fittings, and we are doing a fuel system, so this is a good thread sealer for that. So, the fittings that we need to put in, sorry for this messy table here. Projects always become a mess after a little bit. So it's this guy goes on the inlet. This is the fuel filter. And then there's this guy. This is just a little outlet nozzle. So if we look here, here's our flow arrow. Flow is going this way. So this is inlet, this is outlet. So we can pop these little holders. You can see there's a nice little metal fitting, and this will screw right into that. Same with our other side, except for this time it's our fuel filter. And this will also thread in, just on the other side. Again, flow is going this way, so it'll go through the filter first. So I'm now going to apply the thread locker. I got myself an adjustable wrench that'll fit both fittings, and then I have a 7/8 crescent wrench that fits over this in case I need to hold this a little tighter while tightening. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start with the filter here. And get it tightened down. Alright, I got that side good and tight, so I'll go ahead and apply to this other side as well. One more thing I'm going to do to prep this pump before installing it is I'm going to install a waterproof Deutsch connector on this. It's kind of a standard type of connector you'll see in a lot of waterproof applications, especially off-road lighting. So It's a good one to use due to the waterproofing of the design. But yeah, you can buy little kits of these, or you can buy little packs of these. And then you'll need a crimper. This is just one I found on Amazon that does like 22 to 16 gauge wire. So good crimper for these. First thing you'll want to do to attach a connector on this is cut the end of this so that these are the same length and there's no connector on it. Then you're going to want to strip the wire. I don't think that this one's probably too, oh no. Okay, so strip the wire. So the way I usually like to crimp these, because it's kind of hard to hold these in place while these little terminals in place. And by the way, you'll be using the female terminals with this side of the connector. But yeah, so it's normally a little hard to hold these right, they'll slip off. So what I like to do is I'll just get some fine pliers and kind of pinch this onto it. You see there? Obviously you could just pull it right off, but this is good enough to hold it in place while you crimp it. So place it into the crimping tool and crimp on for this. And then all you have to do is insert these through the back. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, like if I go this way or this way, as long as you're consistent. So in other words, if I choose, red, black this way, on the other receiving end of this, I need to make sure that it matches. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it this way. Make sure you have this little rubber seal in the back, and then you can just insert these terminals. And then you can see I push them through here. There's little tabs inside that'll pop up and keep these in place. But to fully secure them, you then take this cap and put it in here. One thing to note, make sure the seal here is in place before you do so. You can just snap that in by hand. And then you can see here, we have a waterproof connector. I started messing around and I noticed that if I have a little Allen head, I can actually stick it through this bottom hole here, and it's a little difficult, but I can get it to come out right by the hole. So that got me thinking. I was like, oh, well, if I can get a tool in there, maybe I can just feed one through from this other side. There's this large hole right here that you can fit whatever hardware you need through it. So, using my little handy dandy magnet thing, kind of fish it through the hole using this, and then, and I guess before I put it in, and I just have a cap head. This is a 1/4 20. It's a little bit long, and it'll be sticking out a bit, but I figure that's not the worst thing. I'm gonna go ahead and feed this up in here. There we are. So I'm gonna get my fuel pump, and remember, we want the exit higher than the entrance. So mount it up kind of like this. Might be. All right. So I've got a 7/16 deep socket for this. I still got my my Allen head inserted. So I'll try to hold this roughly in place and get this Get this lock nut tightened down. All right, so as you can see, I've gotten it snugged down. Pretty much just got this Allen head in the head of the bolt and tightened it down.